Okay, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, having a look at the Sandringham Bus Depot, and to tell us all about it, we've got the manager of the place, Andrew Hall.
Thank you, Lucas, for inviting me to do this small film for you, and I'll be only too happy to ask any questions and show you around the place that you may desire to have a look at. Here we are at this wonderful old building that's 100 years old. Originally, Sandringham Bus Depot was the Sandringham Tram Depot that ran down to Black Rock and Beaumaris. Here you can see the buses on the original tram pits here, and on our right we have in the new Metbus livery an MAN Mark II. These buses are approximately 6 years old. On our left we have a Metbus in the new livery again, Mark I. These buses are approximately 17 years old. All servicing, local servicing is done here at Sandringham, apart from engine and gearbox changes. We have 2 mechanics here at Sandringham. I'll now take you through to where we do our engines and gearbox rebuilding area. This is an MAN gearbox, completely stripped down, awaiting rebuilding. The parts are all stripped down on the desk, thoroughly cleaned and awaiting reassembling. Here we have thoroughly stripped down an MAN Mark II engine block. In front of here is all the cylinders, compressor. This engine will be thoroughly cleaned more and then reassembled. All reassembling work now is done here at Sandringham for the buses in the government bus fleet. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, at the rear of Sandringham Bus Depot, which actually was the front of the original tram sheds. The tram yards went out the front into Bay Road, Sandringham, through where the back of the shops you can see now. We're now getting the buses ready for the afternoon run out. During school holidays, we actually cut our runs down from here by 4 runs. Normally we run 14 runs here in the AM and PM peak. So it's a lot quieter here in the school holidays. As you can see, a number of buses here, all in the old colours down the rear here, the old familiar Met colours that everybody's quite familiar with, the green and gold. As I said again, the rear of the yard here was originally the front, and the buses actually go out through the old motor vehicle entrance. The shed itself was a 3-track building. And you can see now that half the shed isn't roofed because it's not required for the buses. But the shed used to hold, in fact, 9 trams. These are all bogie cars. And even in the days of Beaumaris, they had a couple of extra cars that used to be situated on the side of the depot building there. The trams are all brought up on the adjacent railway lines from Newport workshops. You can see over there an Hitachi silver train waiting to depart to the city from Sandringham Station. So as you can appreciate, the old bus depot, tram depot, is very, very close to the station, as they were very closely linked to each other. Back in the original days, the tram staff, and only till 3 years ago, the bus staff used to all go over to the station to sign on, get their tickets, pay in their money, and so on. Also here at Sandringham Depot, we house a couple of the old museum heritage buses. Here in front of it that we're looking at is an AEC Regal Mark VI. These buses were the original 1960s buses purchased by the Tramway Board, the Melbourne Metropolitan Tramway Board, and operated in the Footscray area as well as Doncaster. The bus we see here is an old Doncaster bus, number 759, and it finished its service at Elwood Depot on Route 600. And that's the St Kilda to Brighton Beach portion of our current 600 route today. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, in the administration block of Sandringham Bus Depot. On our left here is the rosters that the driver reads to know what shifts he's doing for a week's work. There's actually 2 weeks' work here. This week is the current week's work, so the driver can see for the full week. We have the Sunday work and Saturday work, and then we have the following week, so the driver knows a week in advance exactly what he's going to be doing so he can plan his life with his family. We also have on here important notices that may affect the driver in performing his duty, just like a simple one like telling the drivers not to rev their buses early in the morning because the noise affects the neighbours who live close to us from waking up early. Back further here we have the rack here which has the tables. And the tables are the times of duty that the driver works. He picks up his table with his tickets, he goes out, and that's the timetable he runs to, and those times match up with the timetable that you have in your possession. For example, on a Saturday at Sandringham, the driver knows what a Saturday is by picking up the pink timetable. Monday to Friday, he uses the yellow timetable. And on Sundays he uses the blue one. We also have purple for public holiday timetables. Here again is the times of duty for the driver, so he comes on and he looks and he checks his times of duty and then gets to the tables. The counter area here is where the driver signs on, he pays in and reads any appropriate information concerning the PTC with their weekly magazines. We also have here the run card. This run card's placed in the front of the bus and it has little holes here along the side here, and these holes are electronically recorded, and by that the AVM system that we use can determine where the bus is through the readings of the holes. Here we have the Monday to Friday run out board. As you recall before, I mentioned about table numbers and the run card. The table numbers are down here and they have an appropriate time that the driver would go and get his bus and run out. The run card will say, for example, 112 run. It's done by 212 driver. It runs out at 7:35 and we put over here it identifies what bus number he would get. In this case it would be 198 bus, and that bus for rostering purposes we know would return to the depot at 8:40. In the evening, we'll look at the run again. The driver runs the bus out at 15:15. The table number of the driver is 210. The bus they would take is 3:34, and they would return at 5:40. We also have down here what buses we run over to Footscray Depot as the wash bus, what buses we have as the defective buses, and what buses we have as the spare buses. You'll recall in the video that I showed you in the garage there. And the defective buses, of course, are stored in the garage.
Now we're here in the evening with young Josh, who's just finished the first half of a driving shift. He comes in and fuels the buses at night and cleans them up and gets them ready for the morning. I'll let him tell you a bit more about it.
Yes, well, thank you, Lucas. Well, basically what I do is, have a bit of a drive earlier on, get out there, pick up a few passengers, sell a few tickets and get back in and fuel the buses, check over them, make sure everything's running all right, everything is in perfect order in the engine department, and also clean them out a bit there and make sure there's no rubbish or dust or dirt hanging around, make sure there's plenty of timetables in the buses, and park them up the back ready for the morning run out. Any other job, if a bus faults out in the road, then maybe I'll organise another bus to go out there and replace it. Yes. Any other questions?
Well, what about vandalism and things like that on the bus? Have much problems with that? Like, cleaning that off at night or whatever?
Yeah, well, graffiti is a big problem, and we have a good, extremely potent graffiti remover that seems to get most graffiti off if it's got off straight away. If it's left for a couple of days, it's pretty much there to stay.
Story.
Yeah, it's a different story. But and around here, you know, the kids are a bit of a problem. We do get a lot of graffiti, but one of the bigger problems is actually stop signs, the bus stops. They rip them out of the ground, they knock them down, graffiti all over them, and yeah, you know, they say it's quite a respectable area around here, but the kids certainly change that theory.
Yeah, a bit of a different story. What do you have to clean the bus stops too? Do you? Things like that.
Yeah, I haven't been doing that. David and Andrew have been going around and doing that almost every week. They fix the stops everywhere, and next week they're down again. So it's a constant job. But just recently they've been putting undercover policemen on the buses around this area. So hopefully that'll change the story a bit, and they can catch the little kids that are doing it.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting to be quite a problem.
Oh, well. And what time do you finish tonight?
1:30 in the morning, so today has been an extra long day for me, considering I started at 10 today, so it's quite a long one.
Yeah,
So I'll
you'll
be
be
happy
glad to get home to bed.
to see that last bus come in.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'll make sure I get here nice and late for you.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you very much.
Well, that's pretty much it in the day in the life of a bus depot. Hope you saw a few things about the way buses are maintained, cleaned, run, and whatever else is done. Until next time, I'll see you on the road.